Y'all know the drill. Prosperity to all the Royals. SJ, OCO, and Alito. Hello. What's up? What's poppin'? We're back with another episode of this here Denver series. Having a great time uncovering some shrouded mystery uh, involving this uh, safe haven of a state. What is that? What they call it when the immigrants have to move to where you are? I believe that it's one of the terms. We're gonna call it that. We're gonna go to Colorado State Capitol, as this is our channel. We'll be headed to other states, and eventually, I plan to put on a little tour, um, detailing some of those shrouded secrets and mysterious things. Um, so yeah, let's jump right into it. So his story tells us Colorado State Capitol was constructed in the 1890s and opened in November 1894. It is located at 200 East Colfax Avenue and is home of the Colorado General Assembly and the offices of the governor, lieutenant governor, and treasurer, all their things. Designed by architect Elijah E. Myers, the building is intentionally reminiscent of the United States Capitol, constructed of Colorado white granite and topped with its distinctive gold dome. So let's take a look-see, shall we? Let's take a little look-see. See what we got. Because I find that interesting. It's copper. It's granite. It's majestic. It's royal. It's grand. It's this. That would be your Colorado State Capitol with the copper dome and the granite. Wish you could see my mouse, but I'm hovering over this like top door type of thing at the very right where the flagpole is of the corporation. Yeah, and we'll continue. The dome itself is covered in copper panels that are gilded with gold leaf from a Colorado mine. The gold was first added in 1908 to commemorate the Colorado Gold Rush, which happened in 1858, 9 years after the California Gold Rush, right? So, bye-bye to our structures. Bye-bye to their exiled story. They now enter into a prominent categorical, relatively fascinating story in culture. The inside of the building is adorned with what is believed to be the entire known supply of Colorado rose onyx, a rare rose marble from a quarry near Bula, Colorado. White Yule marble from the quarries near Marble, Colorado, was also used throughout the building for the floors. Marble, Colorado. We will be tapping in. Yeah, we're gonna tap dance all over that. Many of the Colorado State Capitol's windows are stained glass, depicting people and events related to the history of Colorado. The third floor rotunda is decorated with portraits of the presidents of the United States Corporation and other artwork. So let's go have a look-see, shall we? I mean, this is very fascinating here. All these things. All these things, right? We're going to go ahead and, yeah, hello. Doing a build. Thank you very much. Chrome tab. Share the tab audio. And you know what? I always drive past this Capitol building, when I'm out and about. Get outside, y'all. But I always have this thought, like, I wonder what royals live there on Colfax. Remember the picture, Sandy Colfax? Was he a brother? Was he a foreigner? Was he a foreign brother? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to this video. You know what I'm saying? Let's pop off. Um, it's like I forgot what to do or something. There we go. And bear in mind, royal house.
All that you see as we walk through the building. This building also, of course, represents the pride of Colorado. So you'll notice throughout how fancy it is. The architect called it a Corinthian building. So if you three orders of Greek architecture, the Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian, the Corinthian is the most fancy or elaborate. And throughout the building, notice all
Notice how their answers did none of that. Notice how they're historians. Notice how the hijack is ever present. Continue.
See, you see George Washington right here. So here's a hat, three corners, right? Here's the side of the face, right? And it kind of looks like a patriot, like George Washington. What do you think? Yeah, can you see that? And
Does it look like George Washington? This looks like a brother. I mean, you have to look for. You have to know what to look for, and this looks like long hair. I mean, right here. I mean, she sees. Now that I'm thinking about it, it actually doesn't look like a person at all. It looks like some type of animal, really. To be real, like it's a mural. Like it doesn't look like it's a person at all. And when you go to the Mayan culture, you see a lot of that out there. You see jaguars, you see black panthers, you see hawks, you see falcons, you see eagles, you see all of these things. Yeah, alligators. You really never. I mean, we depict people, but most of the times those murals would be representative of us in our primordial form. Is that a good word to use? But let's continue.
how about here? Can you see a turkey? Can you see feathers? And the turkey, more feathers down here. Can you see feathers?
Do you see a turkey? Do you see feathers? I'm looking at it from the side. I'm looking at it from each angle, and I'm kind of see it. But I think she was just on some. Weed is legal in Colorado.
They had a picture feather. Like
Do you see the railing? Do you see the detail, the glory in just the railing at all? Do you see them doing that? Look at their buildings. When they say they built it, look at it. The one you've seen their construction crew pull up to. See, this is all in us. All of the stories that they try to tell is already in us. And so we don't spend time worrying about telling his story. We break that ish down and we build up our prominence because that's what they came here and saw. They came here and found you living like this. They saw themselves living in tents, the peasant people. They could never fathom putting a railing together as such. Copper, gold, brass, stone, granite, pop off.
a turkey to you? Oh, great. Isn't that kind of fun? We see all kinds of shapes and faces as we look at this beautiful stuff. So
Wait a minute, bruh's like, yeah, screw what you talking about. Do you see this? Do you see this? Do you see what's happening? Do you see all of that up there? Do you see the columns and the detail in the architecture? The royal architecture in it. Then they put their little pictures up. They put their name on it. They steal your name and then put their stolen name on it, saying that, hey, we did this. They did not do it. They hijacked it. Continuing.
so hot air as it rises can circulate through all three of the building. And
Seriously. Gold elevator doors. The gold panel. Or copper. Or maybe mixed. Do you feel what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm getting at here? It's the epitome of the state is the Capitol building. Why? Why in every state is that Capitol building identical? Damn near identical. Very close. And then a few minor nooks and crannies. You feel what I'm saying? A few minor changes, but it's always done on a grand scale. Do you feel me? It's a grand scale of things. Continuing.
even today, guess what? We don't have air conditioning in here. So saying that doesn't already feel like the history of Colorado engraved on the doors. They're so beautiful, aren't they? So showing Americans and beautiful, aren't they? So showing you bison, Native Americans. They're so beautiful, aren't they? So showing you bison, Native Americans and pioneers. So showing you bison, Native Americans, and beautiful Colorado engraved on the doors. They're so beautiful, aren't they? So showing you bison, Native Americans, and pioneers, mining tools.
Very interesting. Showing you the history of Colorado. Bison, Native Americans. Native Americans. Bison, the history of Colorado. Right there on the elevator. I mean, you've been to the state capitol. You've been to your state capitol. I wasn't never privy to see the elevators. And when I have to pay tickets, fines, or used to, because they switched it up, that whole area is magnificent. Not to mention that the Mint building is right by said Capitol building. We will be looking at the Google Street View of said building. We will be looking at the Google Street View of said downtown Denver. We will be doing all of this after this.
Agriculture, farming, and so all of that they are
Agriculture, farming.
represented. So it's a real history of Colorado right here on the doors to the elevator. In order to have a
See the skylight? You see the eye? You see how it's lit? Continuing.
really high dome, they figured out that it would be easier to have two domes, one inside the other, so that the outer dome really is just a shell over it that provides the really high view of the dome.
They're so heavy on that Native American thing, aren't they? You see it. If you didn't see that, catch it.
Really is just a shell over it that I really.
There you go.
High view of the dome. Beautiful mural surrounding us, honors water. The artist was Alan. 7 justices. Center. The room isn't exactly as it appears justices.
Glorious. Glorious. We will be pulling up another video.
And they would center, the room isn't exactly as it appears when this is. And they would sit in the center. The room isn't exactly as it appears when the court met here, but it's very, very similar. Met in here. They sit according to party. We have a split legislation. We have Democrats who are in the majority here in the House and Republicans who are in the majority in the Senate. But they do according to party. Democrats sit to your right because there are more of them than Republicans. They literally sit aisle. Most of them have been here for many years. You can see the style he takes. What's really interesting about him is that he was here, except President Trump. He will be added later because it takes a little bit of time to choose an artist and to paint a portrait. These are copies of these portraits, and they're all done by the same man, Lawrence Williams. So he copied famous portraits of our presidents. The only exception, and they're all done by the same man, Lawrence Williams. So he copied famous portraits of our presidents. The only exception is President. So he copied famous portraits of our president, Lawrence Williams. So he copied famous portraits of our presidents. The only exception is President Obama's, and that's because he passed away, and then we had to choose another artist to paint that. So I'm imagining the same process will take.
I don't even need to pull up the street view. See that? Straight across. Yeah, Lookout Mountain's behind the Capitol, the other building. Yeah, this look like a giant seat for like a transformer, huh? Then the Mint's right down the street. It's this building right here. So you see the glorious white building right here, right? And then it's right there. Bang, bang. And there you have it. There you have it. Glorious. Glorious. And that would be the Capitol building. You know, let's look at it in 1888. Let's take a look, see, shall we? Here we have 1888. Do you notice anything about said picture? Off in the back left, you can see what looks like giant houses, mansions, estates. Then over there on the right, you see more estates. Then you see horses and buggies and people saying that they built this and then they are new over here, Ellis Island. Very interesting. Very interesting to say the least. We're going to pull up the other video. First, we're going to read a little bit more about the Capitol building. The Capitol is the eastern edge of Denver's Civic Center and is part of the National Historic Landmark. It serves as the beginning of the Capitol Hill District, sitting slightly higher than the rest of downtown Denver. The main entrance hall is open 180 feet to the top of the dome, about the height of an 18-story building. The official elevation of Denver is measured on the west steps outside the building, where the 15th step is engraved with the words 1 mile above sea level 5280. From this step at 5280 feet, 5,280 feet, 1,609 meters, the sun can be seen setting behind the Rocky Mountains. Now, who really loves the sun? Who does not need sunscreen? Who has Mayan? I mean, who who has the pyramids directly underneath the sun? Or when you're up on the highest part of said pyramid, the sun is right there. You look straight right there, boom, there's the sun. Who can do that? Who enjoy doing that? The sun can be setting behind the Rocky Mountains. A second mile high marker was set in the 18th step in 1969 when Colorado State University students resurveyed the elevation. In 2003, a more accurate measurement was made with modern means, and the 13th step was identified as being 1 mile high, where a third marker was installed. Interesting. And I'm going to show you a little thing here. Isn't this interesting? So they have all of these blueprint. And here you only have two. But there's a fun fact with those blueprints. They got them from somebody, right? Then they say, oh, well, that's a perfect angle of where we need to knock down. Where we need to remodel, restore. You feel me? And there's no restoration needed. It's interesting how they like to steal history. It's interesting. It's kind of insulting, but it's what they do. When you have no history, this is what you have to do. But continuing, we're going to take a look at Mr. Elijah E. Myers. Yeah, I stole his name, so what? Nobody cares. Nobody will care. You're wrong. Name thief. You're very wrong. So we're going to do a little Google, you know? So I have nothing to hide. I don't have to go duck, duck, go. You know what I'm saying? Boom. So Mr. Elijah E. Myers was a leading architect of government buildings in the latter half of the 19th century and the only architect to design the Capitol buildings of 3 U.S. states: the Michigan State Capitol, the Texas State Capitol, and the Colorado State Capitol. He also designed buildings in Mexico and Brazil. Did he? Clinton Valley Center, Old City Hall in Virginia, Michigan State Capitol. Yeah, McDonough County Circuit, Clerk. Old Grand Rapids City Hall, Grosvenor House Museum, Stockbridge Town Hall, Greenville Downtown Historic District. Oh, really? Central Methodist Episcopal Church. Now, would you hear names like them? You know the people, what they look like. Helen Newberry Nurses Home, Stevenson County Courthouse. Very interesting. He had business partners: Frank E. Edbrook, James Murdoch. 1909 was his demise. Let's have a look at him. I mean, looks very pale. Looks like he didn't do it at all. Looks like it wasn't him. Uh, so man, let's go continue this Colorado State Capitol. I didn't want to spend too much time on Buddy. Uh, just to get like a little overview of like he's so called responsible for designing said structures, isn't he? Architect. Oh my god, bro, you crack me up. Oh man, these guys be on funny biz. That looks like the Texas one right there. I mean, it looks like it. Would not quote me on that. Wow, that's beautiful. Continuing. I want to go pull up these other videos. Well, I'm really gonna just pull up one more video. These don't need to be all day. It's just a little series I put together for my own research, my own due diligence. Just research it on your own. We are almost there. We're almost at our finish line. Give me 2 seconds. Not to mention, there was a great fire in a. Hang on. Gotta make sure it doesn't try to play while I'm discussing. Yeah, so there was a great fire in 1863. The Capitol building was built in the 1890s. So 27 years later, somehow this Capitol building is here. Very interesting, to say the least, to say the most, or to say nothing at all. Just go with the flow. But I'm not that. I'm not him. I'm not him. Quit playing. Um, a lot of this video, uh, yeah, while the video loads up, take a second to look at these things. Like, take a second. You know, see what's to it. See how everything is. Then you see a beautiful cathedral. That's Saint Basilica. Cathedral of Saint Basilica, if I'm not mistaken. And everything just be so like perfectly mapped out. Cathedral Basilica of the Immaculate Conception. That's in the back. Um, So I'm waiting for the video to buffer, I promise. Okay. Let's do this. This is about the tunnels. Because I was going to do the street view, but we didn't. Because that was really what I was going to show you. How that white building was in the previous video we watched. Without further ado. For some reason, it's not truly. Actually, I had it all wrong. That was all on me, my bad. But here we are. I have said video pulled up. Let's get the full screen on that bad boy.
We've all seen it. We've all admired it. Colorado. So people, they appreciate the ornate rotunda. They look down to marvel at the beautiful grander case. Or at a museum, they look.
StreamYard is giving me issues.
We've all seen it. We've all admired it. The Colorado State Capitol is thing. Every day, they look up and appreciate the ornate rotunda. They look down to marvel at the beautiful grand staircase. Kids tour it, and at the small museum, they learn the history of the 122-year-old building. They see the pictures of construction, but what they don't ever see is what sits underneath it.
They show you the pictures of the hijack. They show their children the pictures of the hijack. So then their children grow up saying, hey, you didn't build that building. I went to the tour of the Colorado State building and I saw that in the Capitol that we built that. Yeah, Elijah E. Myers. Yeah, responsible for a lot of Capitol buildings. Capitol buildings. All caps. Do you feel me? They do nothing. Continuing.
This building. Writers wrap.
Not a place at all. It's a place for me, not for girls. It's not,
No,
it's
not
for
for
nobody.
We'll leave that argument alone, but we do know what looms fabulous behind the door that says no admittance. Down the set of stairs, not quite as nice as behind the says no admittance. Down the set of stairs, not quite as nice as the grand staircase, and woven through 12-foot thick granite walls.
You know, this place zigs and zags all over, Gary. There's fortunately some exit signs.
Walls.
You know, it zigs and zags all over, Gary. There's
foot thick granite walls.
You know, this place zigs. Keep on.
Tour guide is Doug Platt, a spokesman for Colorado State government. He said
That's
tour
zigs and zags all over, Gary. There's fortunately some exit signs that keep us honest.
Our main tour guide is Doug Platt, a spokesman for Colorado State government. He says at its core, this is a basement, a very warm basement.
You've got utility conduit bringing in water, bringing in electricity. We still use steam heat in the Capitol. Yeah, it's warm.
But really, it's more than a utility vault. It is a history lesson.
This was the technology.
A utility vault is a concrete blocks.
But this used to be open trench sewer. This was the technology of the day.
These more than a utility vault. It is a history. For
now of the day.
Lucky for us, there are now safe door with a vault.
The state treasurer used to
While you see a century-old safe door with a vault.
the state office here in the Capitol in the early days of the state, and they used to actually store the state's treasury down here.
Now a measly padlock guards the empty storage space. The room lost its fortune somewhere along the way. Another storage area. This fortune, some measly padlock, is a mostly empty storage space. The room lost its fortune somewhere along the way. There's another storage area. This one is very.
I wonder which way that was. Which way did it lose its fortune? Who came, who saw, and who attempted to conquer?
Important these days.
We guard it jealously under lock and key.
It's where they store bits and pieces of marble, the original marble mine near
Lock and key.
There's another storage area. This one is very important these days.
We guard it jealously under lock and key.
It's where they store bits and pieces of marble, the original marble mine near Beulah, Colorado, more than 100 years ago.
We'd have to keep track of this stuff.
They use it for restoration, and this is all that's left.
Try as we might to find another supply somewhere in the world where
It's all that's left.
try as we might to find another supply somewhere in the world where it matches. There is no more of this marble left.
Probably the most interesting and to me most mysterious area. Capital, 2 tunnels, playing in coal. The thing.
These were not built as pedestrian. They directly to other buildings in the state capitol complex. They, to find another supply somewhere in the world where it matches. There is no more of this marble.
Probably the most mysterious capital, 2 tunnels. Bring in.
These were not. They go to other buildings in the state capitol complex. They don't.
That these tunnels were used by politicians, escape gunslinger, or by prostitutes. Visit.
The rumors, it would be great to have about in a just don't.
Final stop on this. Building. Unfortunately, they don't really line up. Is this? The story of the cats that prowled the basement to keep the pests away. Is this the building? Unfortunately, they line up. And then there is the cats that meant to keep the pests away.
When they laid the concrete floor, there's paw prints on the cats.
Put it into history.
Difficulties.
Just part of Golden Dome.
So I think it's really interesting how they're tampering with evidence. Treason.
Cemented into history. Just part of the past.
It's real fun to share it with the rest of Colorado.
That was a very interesting video. Very, very interesting. There's also another tunnel to other locations that shows those locations. But as they tamper with the video, I just decided to say, screw them. I'll uncover it. But like I say, these are just different parts. Might have to do a part 2. I mean, we might, because they decided to do that. So we'll call it like mysterious tunnels under the Capitol building. We'll call it our ancestors knew. Or we'll call it we're responsible for building that. So until next time.